Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Between the Notes. Today we're going to talk about a song that's one of the most requested songs that I've done in my career, and it's a true collaboration between fellow composer and good friend Sam Carden and producer Brian Blossel. Way back in 1990 something, I can't remember exactly the day, we got invited to do an album by WordPerfect. Remember that organization? Well, the song has outlived the company, but it was a great, it was kind of the precursor to Microsoft Word. I mean, it was a word processing company, did really well, based out of Utah. They decided they were going to do an album that celebrated the release of, I think it was WordPerfect 5.0, something like that. I don't know, I'm a Mac guy, so I didn't use it. But in any case, we decided, Sam and I and Brian's brother, Randy, decided to do an album funded by WordPerfect and Bruce Bastian, dealing with innovation and innovators. So throughout history, there's been some amazing innovative people, innovative thinking. And we decided to do a song dedicated to Albert Schweitzer. It's called Sage of Lamberene because he was based in that part of Africa, the central parts of Africa, and he became known not just as a great medical doctor and philanthropist, but he was known for three things, and that's what this song is about. First of all, we know him as a medical doctor, and he certainly was that. He got his training and dealt, he was a proper doctor in Germany. And then he went to Africa later on and became known for lots of other things as well as medicine. He also got a degree in theology and studied much about Jesus Christ and the historical Jesus and different philosophies and theologies regarding him. And lastly, he had this love of music, most particularly Baroque music and music for organ. So you combine those three things together: a doctor, a theologian, and a music lover, and you'll see the impetus and the inspiration behind this particular song. So I'm going to try to dissect it for you, as Sam and I, and then Brian, as he produced it, did. We thought, first of all, let's combine musically those elements. So in the song, you're going to hear a Ghanese rhythm. And I'm going to demonstrate that. I kind of broke it down using some synthesizer world instruments, low drum. In this case, I think I'm using a Balinese low drum, but kind of comes out of the same world. And in every African country that's known for its rhythms, be it Senegal, Benin, they change their names all the time over there, but those countries, they usually have like a low drum. And then there's middle drums, which in this case I'm using kind of a djembe and a talking drum. And then they use shakers, either shaken by hand or sometimes they put them on their feet. So as they dance, the rhythms are made by the shakers that are wrapped around their feet or their wrists. And then they use, in some areas, not all areas, but in areas where they could get iron and steel, they would have metal go-go bells. And they don't really call them that in the African countries. That kind of comes from Latin America, but a lot of the Africans took those instruments over to Latin America, which is why we get them. But they're like the little bell instruments that you go beep boom 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 beep boom boom, and that's also part of the rhythm. And let's see, anything else? Oh, lastly, they would have like just kind of heavy shakers, pod shakers. I have a pair of goat toenails actually that I use. It sounds gross, but they sound cool. Any case, here's what that rhythm sounds like. So first of all, you're going to hear the low drum, which establishes this pattern. There's a click you're going to hear along with it that kind of gives you the pulse. So we'll add the low drum in. Secondly, let's put the talking drums in. And they play a little figure, which by itself sounds a little stilted. But when we put it against the djembe, which I'll put in now, it adds a really nice little eighth note. This is in 12/8 time, kind of an eighth note thing, and that sort of thing. Now let's put in the go-go bells. They have rhythm, but they also have a little bit of different timbre, obviously, because the metallic nature of it. See how cool that sounds? And now just kind of give it a little bit more weight. Let's put in some of those shakers that I talked about. So this is the Ghani's rhythm that I remember looking up in a book and then taking down, dictating by ear, and also by somebody had kind of notated it. We were able to write that down. That became kind of our pattern, our rhythmic pattern for the song. So that represents the African geographic musical side of things. Then, so that groove gets going. It's in 12/8 time, bum, 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 like this. Then we had this idea, and I can't remember who came up with it, but one of us decided, what if we did kind of a 3/4? Actually, I think Brian kind of came up with this idea. Let's put a 3/4 over the top of the 4/4. So you're going to hear a 4/4 or a 12/8 groove. Then I'm going to play this on a woodwinds here on the synthesizer, but it's dee dum da and 3 against the 4. What's cool about that is that it changes the emphasis of the rhythmic beat. So in the 12/8, it's going bum 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 bum. See how the accents are in particular place based on 4/4 time. When we put the 3/4 time over, it kind of messes with your rhythmic brain a little bit. But it's really cool how it kind of morphs together, and then it catches up at a certain point in the song. Anyway, that little woodwind figure, which is also played by the piano and later on by the strings, that kind of represents the Western, has a little hint of like Yesu Joy Man's Desiring, bum, bum, bee, bum, bum, that little thing. So you get a little Western sound combined with the African sound. Lastly, we have we add the kind of the theologic side. And we had the Salt Lake Children's Choir sing this really beautiful interlude section. And I'm going to play it for you now on synthesizer, but you'll hear this Alleluia. So far we've added an African rhythm. Secondly, we put on kind of the Bach. And lastly, the theological, religious side that was also part of Schweitzer's heritage. We put all those three things together, and that really makes up the basis of the Sage of Lamberene. Funny story, at the beginning, we had this kind of, at the very beginning of the song, it started off with a flute thing played by Darren Bradford, who still plays it to this day. So it starts with this little melody, dee-da, dee-da-da, and then there's this African, kind of almost a Ladysmith Black Mambazo sound. Well, where are you going to find that? In Utah or in Los Angeles where we recorded. We actually were able to find 3 or 4 great African-American singers that came in. Kevin Dorsey, Philip Ingram, and a couple other of their friends came in. And they all went out and sang. I joined them as the lone non-African-American singer. And but the words that you hear at the beginning, people ask me all the time, what are those words? And I'm going to be really honest with you. I kind of looked around on the internet or in a book. I can't remember back in the 90s what it was. It might have been an encyclopedia. We looked in and we found some words that from Ladysmith Black Mambazo. So chances are it was Zulu or Xhosa. And the Ofananaye in that language meant nobody like him. In other words, nobody like Schweitzer. The Siawe, I remember hearing that language, which would have been a language that came from a tribe in Kenya. I heard that on Out of Africa album. And it means rest, or, like take rest. Don't worry, be peaceful. The Mama Say part, because it had to kind of rhyme as Siawe, Mama Say, Ofananaye. The Mama Say, and I'm going to be really honest with you, that came off of the Michael Jackson album, Mama Say, Mama Sa, Mama Sa. So I'm just being honest. It was a bit of a fictional African lyrical thing. I hope it doesn't ruin the song for you, because it's still one of my favorite songs. The video you're going to watch is the video of the song recorded with an orchestra, a choir, African singers, yours truly, looking a little younger because that was filmed a long time ago. But anyway, please enjoy the song Sage of Lamberene by yours truly, Sam Carden, produced by Brian Blossel.
See away, mama say. Oh, banana, yeah. See the way mama say, oh banana yeah. See the way mama say, oh banana yeah. See the way mama say, oh banana yeah. See the way mama say, see the way mama, see the way mama say, oh banana yeah. See the way mama say, oh banana yeah. See the way mama say. Oh, banana, yeah. See the way mama say. See the way mama, see the way. See the way mama say. Oh, banana, yeah. 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 See the way mama say. See the way mama say. See the way mama say. Thank